Good morning.
Good morning. So I've already told the class a little bit about you. I read the bio. Most of them remember you at least somewhat. And so they know a little bit about what you're doing, what you've done in the past. And I think we'll just get right into it. I think we'll start asking some questions. So anybody brave enough to speak first? Yeah.
Okay. What was the oldest thing you found?
When I was doing archaeology at Michigan State, I found a Neolithic arrowhead, which is thousands of years old. I'm not exactly sure about when it was dated because they were examining the artifacts after I had left, but it was probably in the tens of thousands of years old. So that's the oldest thing I found.
How many people do you usually dig with?
It depends on the dig. When I was digging with the University of Michigan, it was like 40 or 50 people. But I have, there are also like smaller digs that you can do where you're just doing like a survey or just like examining the area before you start like a big excavation, before you start actually going into the ground. And those can be like 5 people. So it really depends.
So what places have you gone to?
Just to clarify, like to do archaeology or just in general?
Yeah, for archaeology.
Oh, okay. I did archaeology at the Michigan State University, like on their campus. We dug in what they called their sacred space, which was right next to Beaumont Tower. If any of you have been to Michigan State University, that's where their first college building was, which was aptly named College Hall. And we dug trash pits in that area, like where they would throw stuff away. So we were like looking at what they had been like throwing out 150 years ago. And then also I dug, in Italy at Gabi, which is just east of Rome. It was an ancient rival to Rome. And we were digging in the what the stuff we were digging up was in the mid-Republican era, which was about 400 BCE. And I was digging up an atrium house, and we were also digging up like a quarry, and there was there were graves right next to where I was digging. Yeah, and those are the 2 places I've dug so far. And this year, I'm actually looking at going to Greece for a project.
What's the biggest thing that you found?
The biggest thing? Well, I mean, I was digging a house when I was in Italy. Although, I mean, that was like I didn't find that myself. So I don't know if you can say that I did that. There was also a giant olive press when we were excavating there, which is just like this gigantic rock that had just some like engravings in it that you would crush olives and make olive oil. And it was probably like a ton or 2. It was huge. It had to weigh at least that much. That's probably the biggest thing we found.
Can you tell us a little bit about what it's like when you actually find something, and does everybody like gather around and, you know, is there like high five each other or anything like that? Like, what is it when you actually find something?
It's not like that. It's not like Indiana Jones when you're when you finally find where the artifact is buried. But no, it's there's a lot of, after you find something, I mean, there's a lot of, you have to like take topography, like you have to measure exactly where it is in the unit, because when you're doing archaeology, you are placing every single thing that you find in a 3D map, so that even when you're done with this, because archaeology is destruction. So whenever you're digging something, you are destroying everything around it. So you have to like take measurements so that you can look at the different layers in this 3D map. So whenever you find something, you immediately take topography with a total station, which measures exactly where it is in this area. And yeah, sometimes things do get exciting. Like when we were digging the atrium house, we found like a central like drainage ditch, which means that there was probably like a fountain in the middle of this house, which is pretty cool. When we found some of these graves the first time, that was there were a lot of people that were going around. They would give us a site tour at the end of every week, so it wasn't everybody. So nobody would just like go and cluster around. Like we would all get to go around and figure out what the other teams had found that week.
Okay, one more.
Where would be the best places to look for an artifact?
The best places to look for an artifact. It depends on what kind of artifact you want or what you're trying to look for. I mean, we were digging in Gabi because the professors wanted to know like how these ancient Latin cities were formed, like how they came about. It's not really the hunt for artifacts, again, like in Indiana Jones, where you're out just digging so you can get something before the Nazis do. You're out there trying to answer a question that you have, like why did this city form like this, or how did the Pantheon like come about, like what was it first, like was there like a site, or was there a temple on this site first? So it's not really like the hunt for artifacts, it's more for answers.
So if you could pick any place in the world and go tomorrow and you could do an archaeological dig or excavation there, where would it be and why?
I would probably go and dig in Rome. I've always wanted to excavate in Rome. It's probably where I'd end up. Probably in the Forum. Excavating in the Forum would be pretty sweet.
What thing did you find that spooked you?
That spooked me. Well, it didn't really freak me out. I mean, I was when I was cleaning the bottom of the trench that I was digging, the area that I was digging. Like whenever you finish a layer, you will just like sweep it, and then you'll take pictures. Again, to document, so you always like, because everything that archaeology is destruction, so you need to preserve everything that you are going to destroy. So after we find a new layer, we'll clean and then we'll take pictures. And I was cleaning along the side of the trench, what's called the bulk, and I was walking backwards, and I took a step back, and my leg just went into the ground, and I almost fell all the way in, but luckily the wall was right here, so I like fell into the wall, and I had fallen into the culvert of this ancient house, like its drainage ditch that like would run off the roof. But luckily that wall was there to catch me. That's probably the thing that freaked me out the most.
Okay, and then last one is if everything goes according to plan and you end up becoming an actual like professional real life archaeologist, what is your kind of like yearly schedule going to look like? What is that going to mean for you? Are you going to be flying around the world every day, or what is a professional archaeologist?
Well, most professional archaeologists, most professional archaeologists are professors. So they will work in a university during during the 9 months of the school year. And then as soon as the school year ends, they will go and start their project. And if it's like a big project like the one at Gabi, like I did, they will go there and they will like begin the excavation, and then students will show up and they will help, and then the students will leave and they will end the excavation. There are also professional archaeologists that will work, like do other things, and then during the 3 months, like what's called the dig season, they will excavate them. But there's also something called rescue archaeology, which is not, it's done whenever it needs to be done. So like when you're building a new, like a condominium complex or something, and you find artifacts when you're like digging like the foundation of a building or something, you will have rescue archaeologists come in and like excavate that site quickly and document everything so that the complex can continue. And that can happen at any time. That happens, whenever the need comes up.
All right, cool. I think that's all of the major questions we had for you. So thank you. I know it's not as early there as it is here. It's pretty early for us, but thank you for being available for us. And hopefully we can, when we get to our Greece and our Rome unit, which is much, much later in the year, we can ask you some specific questions about that too. So thank you.
All right, sounds cool.
Class, thank him.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll see you.
See ya.